Hi everyone. So today I am doing a tarot reading for you all about Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau because Tana Mongeau just announced on Twitter, I believe, that she and Jake Paul are getting married. They are engaged, and I do not know what to think. My gut instinct was, I don't know, I think my gut instinct was that it's not real. But I'm going to show you the cards that I drew. So, here we go. I just asked my tarot card deck if Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau, well, the question that I asked the tarot cards is something like, I think I asked something like, are Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau truly engaged or are they engaged just for clout? And these are the cards that I got. I got the Hanged Man, the High Priestess, and the King of Cups. And I don't actually know the yes or no meanings for cards, so I'm gonna look them up right now and tell you what it says. I love looking up the yes or no meanings because I'm like a very new tarot reader, and so I love going to this divination and fortune telling website by Lisa Boswell. And so it says the hangman is the card of sacrifice on that website. That's what it says. It says the cards predict that something in your life, whether that is your love life, relationship, or business, will need to be given up in order for you to gain something you desire. The hangman often makes an appearance when you must play the martyr. You must let go of something you are close to so that you can get something else in return. You may have to give up your time, money, or something you love, whatever that resource is. You must go through the sadness of giving it up so that you can have something else. Generally, the hangman simply predicts that you will be on edge for the period which the card represents. Another interpretation is that the hangman represents divination and prophecy. Interesting. So it could mean an increase in psychic ability. Okay. So it says waiting for an outcome can be positive or negative depending on the feel of the reading. If the reading looks positive, then the hanged man says that all is going well for now and you just have to have and you have just to have. I think they meant to say and you just have to have patience. If the reading looks negative, the hangman advises that the results of the situation will reveal themselves in their own time. So it kind of sounds like, because the hangman is the first card that I drew, it sounds like it's still up in the air. Like it sounds like that's just like what my intuition is telling me is that it seems like Tana, I think, well, what my intuition is telling me is that Tana and Jake are not really sure themselves if they're really actually going to get married, which is crazy to think. Like, it kind of seems like they probably just did this out of impulse as like just a crazy thing to do. Like, you know, when people get like high and then they go to Las Vegas and they just get married, it kind of feels like that same kind of impulsive, crazy energy. Like they just did it for fun. They just got engaged for fun. And I don't know if they're really going to go. I don't think they know if they're really going to go through with it themselves, which is crazy to think. Like why'd you ask then, Jakey boy, if you're not sure yet if you're going to do it? Okay, it says the hangman in a love reading. In general, I would argue the hangman is not a very good card to see if you're performing a love reading. This is especially true if your reading is about the future of the relationship. It is rarely common to see the hangman in readings where the other partner is not sure about what they want or how they are feeling about you. So it's all about uncertainty. But it says, I have found that the hangman represents a troubled ending for a partnership. It means that a relationship will end and you will not be sure why. You cannot pinpoint exactly what went wrong. Your lover just left you hanging, just like the hanged man. Oh no. That's sad. So, okay, here it is. It says, the hangman can be a no in a reading, but I would read it as an uncertainty, so neither a yes or no just yet. Okay, so when I did my first reading about Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau, I got that Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau are actually in love with each other for real. For real. Like, they really are in love with each other. So I don't think that stuff that I just read about the hangman applies here. Like, I don't think the uncertainty about the feelings applies here. I think we got the hangman in this reading. Like, my intuition is telling me that we got the hangman in this reading because there is an uncertainty between Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau themselves about whether or not they're actually going to get married. So since the hangman is the first card I got in this reading, it means that it's neither a yes or a no on whether or not they are getting engaged, like whether or not they are engaged for real or for clout. So they don't know themselves if they're engaged for real or for clout, and therefore, since they don't know, we don't know either. Because if you can't make up your own minds, and how can you expect us to make up our mind? So it's kind of like that. And then I got the High Priestess, which basically just makes me think, trust your intuition, magical, which is my name, my YouTube name. If you know my real name, you're a real fan. So let's look up the High Priestess, yes or no. And let's see what that means. Okay. So, the High Priestess, it means secrets, intuition, and mystery are the main meanings of the High Priestess. Oh, it means the outcome or future is not meant to be known? What? Does that mean that these two are, like, gonna keep us guessing? They're gonna keep us guessing. You're just gonna keep... Yeah, of course they are. Of course they're gonna keep us guessing about whether or not they're getting engaged for clout. I'm not surprised at all. The High Priestess is the card of psychic ability. Yet again, psychic ability keeps coming up. Makes me think of Tana. I think Tana is going to probably be gaining a lot of more psychic abilities over the next year than ever, like a lot more. Because, I mean, I think Tana's already actually pretty psychic. Like, I think Tana is actually an empath. She's a Cancer, in case you didn't know that, and I think she's very sensitive to people's energies. Like, okay, this isn't even really a great example, but she was telling a story about how her dad embarrassed this girl at Forever 21. I think it was Forever 21. Her dad went up to this girl and he, like, touched her belly and he was like, oh my gosh, you're pregnant. When does the baby due? And he was like, grinding her, like, grilling her about this baby, and she wasn't even pregnant. She was just like, oh my gosh, I'm not pregnant. I don't know what to tell you, sir. I don't have a baby. Ooh. And then she called her, I think she was probably about to call her manager and be like, what do I do? This crazy man won't stop asking me if I'm pregnant, but I'm not pregnant. I don't know what to say. And she was like, Tana was like, she started crying, and I just felt so bad for her. And Tana was like, I basically started crying too, like, with her. So Tana is like an empath. Like, she literally feels the same emotions that other people feel, I think. And I think she's kind of like gonna be the High Priestess in this reading over the next year, gaining more and more psychic abilities. It says if you're reading another person and you get the High Priestess, you will be reading another psychic or sensitive who might also work in a metaphysical or healing profession. But the High Priestess can also represent strong suspicions. Your intuition may be telling you that something in your life is not quite right. So it kind of makes me think, okay, maybe Tana is questioning, should I really be marrying Jake Paul so fast? I think Jake is the right guy for her, but I think they're moving too fast. That's just my opinion. Um, a lover or business partner may be keeping a secret from you. And so I guess maybe she's questioning about how much she can trust Jake Paul. Because I think Jake is kind of like known as a cheater, right? Like didn't Jake Paul cheat on Erica as well? That's what I heard. And oh, there's a hot cool. Um, but actually, I believe that Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau have an open relationship. So I guess cheating isn't really an issue so much as like just the overall trust factor. Like maybe Tana's okay with Jake sleeping around, but maybe she just wants them to be able to be honest about who they're sleeping with, and maybe she just feels like she can't really trust Jake for some other reason or multiple reasons. Sometimes the high priestess holds on to that which we are not meant to know. So the high priestess in a love reading. Many people panic when the high priestess comes up in a love tarot reading, especially in the outcome. In outcome positions, it's often difficult to interpret the meaning of the high priestess. While it is true that this card can symbolize secrets and implies infidelity, this is what I was saying about cheating. It is more common for the card to represent what has to be revealed. I usually read the high priestess as a sign that you're not meant to know yet what is happening in the future. You should live in the present and not worry what is going to happen. The high priestess says that what is for you will not pass you. Let the future unfold in its own time. Okay then, so so the tarot is intentionally being very secretive about this. It's like the cards don't know, and Tana and Jake don't know, and we don't know either. Like, what the actual F? So is the high priestess a yes or a no? So the high priestess is neither a yes or a no. Okay, the final card that I got for this question was the King of Cups. So King of Cups, I'm Googling King of Cups, yes or no. And let's see what Lisa Boswell, who I love learning about the tarot from her website, has to say about this. The King of Cups is the epitome of intuition. When this card makes an appearance, it means that you or someone close to you is going to use your intuitive skills and psychic abilities to navigate a situation. Tana is talking about Tana. The cards are talking about Tana. Over and 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 freaking over again. Tana's so psychic. Oh my gosh, the cards are just like basically bragging to me right now about how super freaking psychic Tana Mongeau is. And I mean, I am here for it. Like, I love it. I love it. I knew that. I felt that. I always knew that. But, it's so cool to have the cards, like, confirm that for me right now. Like, Tana Mongeau is super psychic, you guys. I know she seems like this silly blonde sometimes, but Tana's very smart, you guys, and she's super psychic, so she can, like, read your mind. She knows everything you're thinking. She knows when you go to sleep at night, and she's watching you when her eyes are closed. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's pretty much what the cards are saying. They're like saying Tana's an empath, just like I always knew. The King of Cups is able to read the room and everyone in it with stark accuracy. Okay, so I feel like Tana is also the King of Cups, but then I think that Jake is the King of Cups as well. Maybe it's more saying that Jake is the King of Cups, because Jake is an Aquarius, which is a water sign. The King of Cups is a water sign card. So I think Jake is also the King of Cups here. I think it's more so saying that Jake is the King of Cups. This card symbolizes a growth in emotional maturity. So maybe that means that Jake is growing more emotionally mature. But the King of Cups is also a card of devotion. When he appears in a tarot reading, it means that those in your inner circle are loyal and dedicated to you, especially the male figures. You can trust and rely on most of the men in your life. If there are no men you can lean on in your life yet, there will be soon. A more negative phase of the King of Cups is that he is deliberately controlled. He sits watching others, taking everything in. The king may take advantage of the information he gleans from these observations and his intuition. Sometimes he can use what he has learned for evil means. Oh my god! It's saying that Jake Paul is an evil Disney villain. I knew it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, you guys. I'm sure it's not saying that Jake Paul is an evil Disney villain. It's just a joke, you guys. I'm just joking. But isn't that kind of funny, though? Like, what do you mean evil means? What is Jake Paul going to do that's, like, so evil? Like, what? He's gonna steal someone's, I don't know. Steal someone's car or something? But then he'll just return it, and it'll just be for a prank. For his vlog or something, you know? So... He says the King of Cups is used to represent a man who has good intentions towards the seeker. He is always fair and has the strongest sense of justice, right or wrong. He gives all he can to those in need. The King of Cups in a love reading. In a love reading, the King of Cups is a positive omen, especially for females who want to settle down. Okay, that's good. The King of Cups is rarely unmarried or not looking for a serious relationship. He likes to have a companion. Having a loving family is very important to him. In a good reading, the King of Cups reassures you that your partner or potential partner's feelings towards you are genuine. There you go. Just like in my first reading about Jake and Tana, they are truly and genuinely and honestly in love with each other. So it says if your relationship is in trouble and the King of Cups appears in an outcome position, this card serves as reassurance that you can get the type of man who appreciates you. While your current relationship might not last, the King is telling you that he is in your future waiting for you. Do not fear being single because your king is out there. Okay, this kind of gives me a bad omen. Like, there's so much uncertainty in this reading. And then even though the King of Cups is kind of like a positive sign, saying that there's like reassurance about getting the right guy, it kind of makes it sound like maybe Jake isn't really like the person Tana is meant to be with forever or something. And I guess we all kind of suspected that, didn't we? That it wouldn't last. This tarot reading is making me feel like it's not going to last. And then my first tarot reading about Jake and Tana was saying that their relationship will not last. So I'm not really surprised, and it's sad. I want them to be able to like really go the distance together because they're so cute together. They really complement each other well. Like I feel like they go great together. Um, so the King of Cups is a yes or no. I would read the King of Cups as a yes for love matters, but a no for everything else. Okay, so that makes me think right now, Tana Mongeau and Jake Paul are not certain about whether or not they are actually engaged, but they will make the decision to truly and genuinely get engaged for real and not just for clout. So that is what my intuition is telling me. And thank you for watching this reading. Bye, everyone. Just like and subscribe.